Within the Inclusive Society research theme, we investigate the patterns and mechanisms of inclusion and exclusion of different groups of people in society.
It's about thinking about how we can build a society where all members of that society are sort of valued for the contribution that they can make, and that we think about how the society can be structured in order to ensure that everybody has opportunities to fulfil their potential. Within Trinity College we have two sort of longitudinal studies that are really covering sort of both ends of the life course. So we have the Tilda study looking at the sort of the ageing process within Ireland, and then we have Growing Up in Ireland looking at the sort of other end of the early end of the life spectrum.
So what are the factors that lead to some children succeeding, for instance, in educational achievement, and what are the factors that lead to others lagging behind? And then within the older population group, among the 50 plus, again, what are the factors that lead to some of them having good outcomes, enjoying good health, both physical and mental health, while other groups within the older population are affected by, for instance, loneliness and by depression.
The Growing Up in Ireland study is the first longitudinal and national cohort study of children. The study is unique within the Irish context. So what we're doing in that study is we're following two groups of children, about 8,500 9-year-olds and their families, and 11,000 9-month-olds and their families. We're trying to explore what factors influence these children's development in order to identify how we might be able to improve the lives of the children going forward. It's important that Irish policy is underpinned by Irish research.
These studies are hugely important because they, for the first time in Ireland, give us a representative picture of childhood and older age.
I'm interested in the extent to which people can move around the city in which they live, and the extent to which that is facilitated or hindered by the way in which the city is built, by the sort of transport facilities that exist, and by the sort of income structure and social inequalities that are present. Dublin is the capital of a rather unequal society, but the way in which Dublin is put together and the facilities that exist in Dublin make that inequality more extreme. If you don't have a car, your access to employment is dramatically reduced. And one can think of exactly the same thing going on in terms of social contacts, in terms of entertainment, in terms of shopping, all those sorts of things.
The type of research I do, which focuses largely on homelessness and criminal justice, are really all about different forms of social exclusion, and that homelessness clearly is one of the most extreme forms of social exclusion. We've devised a whole range of instruments that assist people moving out of homelessness. The broad model is what's known as housing first. So rather than trying to get people to be housing ready, or that we move them into housing straight away, this is much more cost effective for everybody to provide people with accommodation, and the research that we're involved in is demonstrating the value of this approach. The Irish government have adopted a housing first type approach to its new homeless strategy. Most policymakers in Europe have done the same. So it clearly demonstrates that research in academia, both in Ireland and in Europe and North America, does have a genuine public policy impact.
We're looking at the experience of racism in Irish schools, Irish communities. We're in schools investigating what's happening, but we're also doing systematic reviews where we pull together all the best evidence there is on specific approaches. There's cooperative learning, children working collaboratively on projects in the classroom across ethnic difference. Does this improve not only their learning but their later attitudes and behaviour towards each other?
Trinity is unique in that we're bringing together people working from different disciplines who share the common interest of understanding children's lives and how to sort of improve their lives.
Wanting to be part of global conversations and wanting to be engaged with global issues. That is very strongly part of the Trinity identity.
processes throughout the life course affect outcomes at older ages. And investing very heavily in life chances early on will really pay off.
Social research can contribute to society by contributing to public debate.
We firmly believe that through collaboration, through partnership, through dialogue, that we can find more sustainable solutions. The more inclusive society, the more equal society will be.